Hello and welcome to another BWhack review. Today we are going to be taking a look at NASCAR Authentics Wave 6 for 2021. Honestly, a really solid wave. This is a very nice variety of cars here. You got a truck, you got an Xfinity car, you got some brand new Cup car primaries and stuff. My only complaint is that there's no Fords in this for some reason. It's all Chevys and a few Toyotas. I mean, I kind of wish there was a few Fords here, but we've already pretty much gotten most of the Ford because we got like both Roush cars. We got the Penske cars. I don't think we did get all this. Did we get all the Dirt Haas cars? We got Briscoe. We got Harf. Yeah, we probably did. So it's probably there's not much left for Ford until we get to the special paint scheme. So maybe that's what it is. But do want to talk about there is some cool packaging with these. The Ross Chastain actually does have clovers in the back of the package there. There you can see the whole wave on the back of the card too. And the other really cool packaging is this one for Noah Gragson. It's actually got that True Timber camo as the package art. That is really cool. I love when they do fun stuff with the packaging. Why don't we just hop right into the wave and start with that one. We got Noah Gragson's Bass Pro Shops Black Rifle Coffee 2021 Primary Xfinity paint scheme for this year. This is honestly the only one that's like a true kind of repeat. Which it's really not a repeat because last year we got the raced version from Daytona, where this year we're just getting a clean one. But as far as paint scheme go, I think that is the only repeat in this whole wave. Did we get that gear orange from Kurt before? I honestly can't remember, but I know this one is a repeat. I still absolutely love this car. Something about the bright metallic silver mixed with the neon yellow and orange and then the camo just looks fantastic. So that I picked up as Daytona Win in 124 last year because it looks so cool. So I'm really glad they kept this paint scheme this year. One of the differences this year is last year it had Black Rifle on both sides, where this year it has Black Rifle Coffee Company on the left side and the right side has True Timber. So that's one little change from last year if you're into that, but metallic silver still looks fantastic. Just a solid car and release all around. Noah Gragson is pretty popular. He's finally turning it around. Like I said, he was having a pretty awful season, but has now won the last 2 races. So he definitely has. It's something sparked in him. Next up, we have the person who returned their season and career around immediately. We have Kyle Larson's Nation's Guard Chevy for Hendrick Motorsports. This was the car he raced earlier this season. He raced it for like a few times really early in the first race of the season. And then has, for some reason, just kind of solidly gone to the Hendrick Cars paint scheme and kind of just left this one in the dust. Which is better, because the Hendrick Cars is so much better. I've never been a fan of this car. Like, it's still in that Ricky Hendrick design, but something about just, like, the black, white, and green just don't look great together. And then the logo's, like, silver, so shouldn't there be some gray on this car, too? And I don't know. Not a huge fan of this car. Kind of surprised they gave us this one and not the Hendrick Cars. I mean, maybe the Hendrick Cars will be in a later wave, but it's very strange that they gave us this one out of all the Larson cars they could give us this season. But I'm sure Larson fans want to pick this up. This company is still a Hendrick company. I feel like pointing that out. It should be obvious with the paint scheme, but although they actually did, what was it? Did Freightliner use this paint scheme still? So I guess that isn't as obvious with the paint scheme, but this is still a Hendrick-owned company. This isn't any sort of actual sponsor. I wonder if this car's gone forever now, because I mean, they kind of said the HendrickCars.com will be the car for like all but like 2 races next season. So, but I mean, this is still a Hendrick company, so I don't know. But anyways, I'm sure people will be picking that up because everyone does love Larson all of a sudden again. Next up, we have Chase Elliott's brand new Napa Auto Parts primary for 2021. I mean, it's not entirely brand new. It's very similar to last year's, but you see it has the blue around the bottom with the yellow. This is honestly a very good improvement to the car. That's, you know, one of everyone's complaints have been for years is that Napa just needs more yellow on their cars, and they, for some reason, are always skimping out on it for Chase Elliott, but that looks pretty solid. Still just have the A-post crap, but overall, not a bad paint scheme at all. It definitely looks better than Chase's looked the last couple years. This one will definitely be a popular one to get Chase Elliott's brand new primary paint scheme. Chase Elliott's had a okay season. He's won a few races, but he's definitely seemed off, and he's definitely seemed behind Larson at Hendrick. Like, he honestly, if I remember correctly, he took the longest of all Hendrick to actually win a race, didn't he, this year? But who knows? Anyways, now we move over to Ganassi. We have Kurt Busch's Gear Wrench Tools Chevy for 2021. Pretty much the only paint scheme they can actually make for Kurt. Obviously, there would normally be a Monster M right there and on the deck lid, but can't do that. But luckily, I'm kind of glad he actually won his only race so far this season in this car because they could actually make it. I don't know why Monster got so weird all of a sudden. Monster used to be like, oh, they just had to be on bases or whatever. I mean, they never allowed 164s, but the 124s had to be on bases. And now for some reason it's like, no, you can't offer anything no matter what. And it's so strange because it screwed us out of Ty Gibbs' first Xfinity win. It screwed us out of Kurt's win last year. But I don't know. And now Monster's, of course, following him to 2311 next year. So he has that ugly-looking 45 Monster Energy car. I wonder if Gear Entry and the other companies will follow him over to 2311. Hopefully he has something else, because if he doesn't have anything but Monster, we're never getting a diecast. So that's kind of sad, but definitely a solid choice for Authentics. Next up, we have Ross Chastain's Clover 42 for Chip Ganassi Racing. His primary for the season. I've always enjoyed this paint scheme. Something about the black with like the green with the clovers and everything and the white. Just a very cool paint scheme. This paint scheme's been around for like 2 or 3 maybe years now. Larson won with it once at Dover a couple years ago. I initially didn't like the orange numbers, but they've honestly grown on me. They added them right around Halloween the one season, like for Martinsville, and then they just kept them permanently after that. But said I wasn't too big of a fan of them initially, but they've really grown on me. They kind of look nice on track, especially when like this car runs under the lights. The orange just really pops and it looks pretty cool. But definitely really cool to get a Chastain 42 in Authentics. We're getting a total of what, like 4 124 42 cars this year. We're getting the Clover, we're getting his McDonald's throwback, we're getting his Moose car, and then his Care Agility, whatever that Talladega car was. So he honestly made out pretty solid in the diecast department in the 42 car this year. Next up, we have Daniel Suarez I Fly number 99, our first Trackhouse Racing diecast in Authentics. Honestly, this is a really cool paint scheme. He ran this in the Daytona 500, if I remember correctly. I think this got canceled, didn't it? Is this a full DNP, or is this getting made in 164? This very well might be a full DNP. I know the 124 got canceled, because I'm pretty sure the only diecast he's getting made so far this year is his Camping World car, and then his, I believe his, whatever that new company that Eris is now, ComScope or whatever, that basically bought over Eris, and that's why they're in his car. This car honestly just reminded me so much of Jeff Burton's old Sitco rides. Like, that is all I could see. It was a white, blue, and red 99 car with a red 99. Like, all I could see was Jeff Burton's old Sitco car from the early 2000s. I don't know if I'm alone in that or not, but definitely a cool paint scheme. He was actually going to have some really cool paint schemes this year, and then for some reason, like, Camping World and Good Sam, like, bought up all the races, even races they already had sponsors for, which is odd. So that car just, like, took over the 99 car for the entire season. But cool to get another paint scheme in Authentics. I'm sure we'll get that Camping World in Authentics. Move over from one new team to another. We've got Bubba Wallace's DoorDash Toyota for 2311 Racing. This is his primary for the season. I'm glad we got this one. Said we really had no reason to get that show car from the last wave, or was that 2 waves ago? I don't even remember. But this is the car they should have just waited to release, because this one actually deserves to be in Authentics. A pretty solid paint scheme. It's nice and simple, but that bright kind of neon orange-red color mixed with the bright white and black to kind of break it up just looks very nice. I do have the same complaint that everyone has, that it's very strange that the number angles the opposite way from the paint scheme. Like, if you want to have that number design, then just, curve this out a little farther, but I don't know. Definitely still a cool paint scheme. 2311's been kind of hit or miss on the paint schemes. They've had some really awesome paint schemes this year, and then some that have just kind of been disappointing. Which, especially DoorDash, like, that their designer designed this, like, whole fancy 911 memorial paint scheme. And then they just, instead of running that, just ran this regular car with a little logo on the side. Not really sure what the deal with that was. It's also weird because for the 911 race, it's a night race. And for most of the night races this season that have been DoorDash, they've reversed the paint scheme. It has white on the top and the orange on the bottom. So they didn't even run that either. It was just the regular this car. So, I don't know. Anyways, let's move right back along to Martin Truex Jr.'s brand new Auto Owners Insurance paint scheme for 2021. This is a really cool paint scheme. Much better than his paint scheme the last couple years. It's got a very nice light shade of blue. That's screwing up my camera like light blue cars always do. But just a very cool paint scheme. He also won in this paint scheme in the truck race this year when he won his Bristol Dirt race in a truck. So you can get a truck version of this diecast if you want one. Don't know if it's being made in 164 or only 124. Yeah, sounds like somebody's mowing their lawn out there. That's a shame. Anyways, and last but not least, we've got Austin Hills United Rentals truck for Hattori Racing. This is really cool to get in Authentics. I will say they for some reason got the blue a little off on this diecast. The real truck has a very kind of vibrant blue color, but for some reason this one's just darker blue. It's just a little bit more muted of a blue. But this is definitely going to be a popular one. I know the 124 got made of this, but is this a 164 exclusive for Authentics? Because I can't remember if a 164 got made in like the Gold Series or not. Definitely a very solid release. And that pretty much does it for the wave. Like I said, a very solid wave, a good variety of cars and teams. You got Truck, Xfinity, and Cup. As I said earlier, my only complaint is that there really needs to be a Ford here, because, like I said, it does kind of seem a little odd when they, you know, completely just branch out from one manufacturer like that. But could have given us, like, Logano's, you know, maybe this yellow car that I have in the background back here or something. I don't know. This is unrelated to the video, but I randomly did find this at Walmart, that Hot Wheels is still releasing their old Dodge Charger Gen 4 mold. So that's really cool. I don't know why they're still releasing this thing of all cars they could release for their old molds that they used to have back when they did NASCAR diecast, but I almost think they're going to come back sooner or later. They seem to be, they're like, you know, commenting on random NASCAR posts and like schedules. You know, they did the thing with Logano. Like, they seem to kind of be still interested in NASCAR, so I'm wondering if they're ever going to come back and release any diecast. Who knows? But yeah, you can be on the lookout for this car at Walmart if you want to look for a old Dodge Charger, if you're into that. So like I said, this wave is a brand new release. You can get it right now. It's at Targets and Walmart and showing up everywhere. Well, I mean, if you're lucky enough to actually find it in stores. Because, you know, some people still are stuck on like wave 2. Or even earlier. Some people are still stuck on waves from last year. I still have the one Target that has like 30-ish Bubba Wallace Black Lives Matter cars. And it's been months, and it just, I don't know how that store got like so many of them. Because, I mean, there's only like 2 to a case, and that store is like 30. So did they get like, were there like cases of that car alone, or did they really have like 30 cases of those, and the rest of them all sold except for those? I don't know. But since most of my stores are pretty empty, I usually go to a store and either find scraps of a wave or nothing at all. It was kind of funny, though. I did randomly walk into a store a week ago, and I found like scraps of this wave, but it was the Austin Hill truck, the Chastain, the Suarez, and the Gragson. 4 of the more popular cars from the wave were the 4 that were left on the pegs. I was like, how in the world does that happen? But so be on the lookout. Remember, for all of your diecast needs, you can go to circlebdiecast.com. And if you use the code BWhack, you can get free shipping on any order over $20. Go check it out if you want anything. But I think that's pretty much all there is to say. This has been a review of the NASCAR Authentic Wave 6 for 2021. Hope you enjoyed, and thanks for watching.